Hello, can you listen me?
Oh, great. Yes.
Okay, we're
Okay.
ready, right?
Oh, great.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, let's start. Thank you very much, Hans, for the kind introduction. We are going to converse about experience in delivering some digital financial education in different countries. Can you see the screen well, the agenda? Okay, we will talk about how is the digital financial education approach made in different countries. We will show some work samples. Lars will help us to show the videos, and we will talk about some challenge and lesson learned about it. So, financial education is related to life cycle events. We have different risks all over our life cycle, natural disasters, disease, sickness, business, investment needs. And we have financial services. We have savings, loans, insurance, digital service. But how can relate both sides of the panorama? We need in between financial education so people can make better use of the financial services. If they have financial education, they can have better management of their money, more savings, more productive credit, less over indebtedness risk, and of course, this is for the people. For the MFIs, this also works that the portfolio at risk and the credit losses will be less. So there is an incentive and motivation both on side of the client to improve their well-being and on side of the MFIs to reduce their losses and the financial crisis. What is financial education about? It's about improving the financial well-being of low-income families. This is the final end of financial education. That means involving money management decisions and involving family decisions. The financial education delivers knowledge that is oriented to change attitude and motivation to manage money in a different way. With that different behavior change regarding money management, people can start reducing unnecessary expenses. That means increasing savings, take up insurance to protect the family, make a better debt management. So overall, the financial behaviors improve the financial well-being of the people. We have how it works. We deliver a financial education toolkit in a very simple, useful, and relevant way with videos, interactive training, e-learnings, games as an input. As an output, the staff and client trained at branches or online using digital media can start improving their behavior, and as an outcome with those behavioral change regarding less expenses, better planning on how to use the money, more involvement on family regarding financial decisions, uh, people start saving more, protect the family, improve the well-being of the family. So this is the input-output-outcome relation of financial education. And what we have learned that simplicity is the baseline. Leonardo da Vinci used to say that simplicity is the maximum sophistication. Simplicity doesn't mean it's not enough. Simplicity means it's enough for people to get good financial education. We have a phrase here in financial education delivery: if a 10-year-old child or a 70-year-old granny cannot understand it, then we must redo it. So simplicity is the baseline of financial education to be understood. Number two, we talk about customized standardization. We had a nice conversation yesterday with Hans about it. It's not just about standardization, it's customized standardization. Because first we need to adapt the financial education content to local context, the different countries. But once the standardized materials, the videos, the e-learning, the games has been developed, they cannot be greatly modified by the instructor. This way we can assure one of the biggest problems of training, that is how to ensure the standard of quality, in this case in the provision of financial education, and in the interaction with clients. That this interaction is question based. The instructor put questions and makes reflections, and the group create knowledge around the questions and the stories they receive or the information they receive. So what has been the evolution of the digital delivery of financial education so far from now? We started some time ago with the videos, very short stories with some reflection about it, money management. Now we are in the process of creating interactive e-learning, having more interaction with the client, with a more structure and a more comprehensive environment for the education of the client. And finally, we are delivering the beginning of, let's call it, artificial intelligence and more social network interaction with some software that can interact with the client. And depending on what client says, the software gives additional answers and provides additional information. We will see example on these 3 lines of work that has been developed on financial education. So these are a picture of some examples. On the left, we have the videos developed for Tunisia, ENDA in Tunis. Big MFI, they trained 42,000 clients, 50% of them using digital media. More than 70% of the clients increased their savings. In the middle, we have Egypt, 10 video cartoons, and they are going to use the e-learning to train their clients. And in the right, we have Laos. They develop videos to train on insurance, but they also develop very innovative chatbot using a messenger and a type of a robot to interact with the client together with the call center. So we will see a video cartoon example from Enda, Tunisia. Lars, can you play the video cartoon, please? Then we continue.
عسلامة ومرحبا بكم في برنامجنا كلام صواب.
اليوم إيمان باش نحكيو على كيفاش نبرمجوا للادخار.
زيد فسر لي.
سهل ياسر، لازمني نشري اورديناتور جديد يسوى 600 دينار. قررت باش نشريه بعد عام، كل شهر نخلي 50 دينار على جنب، معناتها 12500 كل جمعة.
اي فكرة، اما منين باش تجيب ل 12500؟
من المصروف الزايد.
كيما شنو مثلا؟
ما عادش نمشي للقهوة كل يوم، كنت نصرف ما بين القهوة والشيشة على الأقل 4 دينارات في النهار.
والله يعطيك الصحة يا زياد، لازمك تشد صحيح مالا.
أنا باش نشد صحيح، وهاو باش نشوفوا كيفاش زينب وعلي عاملين.
فقت بيك.
أمي طيحتي لي قلبي.
قداش تعجبني كي نلقاك تحسب الفلوس اللي لميتهم. ناوي تشري حاجة؟
نحب نشري بسكليت ب60 دينار منها 3 شهور. كل يوم من الفلوس اللي تعطيهم لي للكار والفطور نخلي في 500 فرنك.
يعطيك الصحة يا وليدي. هاو التخطيط ولا بلاش؟ حتى انا وبوك قاعدين نلموا باش نبدلوا بيبان الدار الزوز في ال6 شهور الجايين.
6 شهور؟
اي ولدي، الباب يتكلف 120 دينار، نخبوا في 10,000 في الجمعة. اي خليني توا ما عادش عليا بكري، ماشي نطل على خالتك. الو الو، تي وينك يا ليلى؟ هاني جيت.
هاني بحذا جارتي، جابت روبي هبلوا من تركيا. يجي شوف ناخذ زوز.
لا وخيتي، هاني نستنى فيك قدام الباب.
هيا مرحبا ادخلي يا زينب.
اوه شنو هذا؟ هاي الدنيا عايمة وسقف في قطر. تي كيفاش وصلتي لها الحالة وخيتي؟
هلا غالب، يلزمني على الأقل 500 دينار باش نصلحه.
تعرفي كان جيتي عندك برنامج الادخار راكي صلحتي سقف عندك برشا.
برنامج الادخار؟
في عوض كل ما جارتك تجيب روب تمشي تشري زوز ولا 3، خدتي باش تشري زوز ولا 3 في العام. تو تشوفي كيفاش تلمي حتى أكثر من 500 دينار.
باش تعرف قداش تنجم تدخر يلزمك تنظم حساباتك وتعرف قداش عندك مداخيل ومصاريف.
صور 4 جداول في ورقة، في الأولاني حط الهدف متاعك، في الثاني حط قداش يلزمك فلوس باش تحققه، في الثالث حط قداش يلزمك وقت، وفي الرابع حط قداش يلزمك تدخر كل جمعة ولا كل جمعتين ولا كل شهر.
خطة ادخار مهمة برشا وتنجم تعاوننا في تحقيق أهدافنا. ثبت في المصاريف الزايدة وقداش تنجم تخبي فلوس على جنب كي تنقص منها.
يا أخي أنت مش قلت لي باش تشتري كونجيلاتور للمشروع متاع عمك؟ يلزمك تبرمج، تخطط وتحدد المبلغ والمدة باش تنجم توصل تشريه في الوقت اللي تحب عليه.
يعطيك الصحة زياد، والله فكرة طيبة. الواحد كيف يعرف كيفاش ينظم روحه ومصاريفه ينجم يلم تفتوفة كل مدة باش يوصل يحقق الأهداف متاعو.
After we see the video on ENDA in Tunisia, we will see an example of Myanmar. The difference between Tunisia and Myanmar is that in Myanmar, Alliance developed a video that is using real persons, and it incorporated this video into the normal business as usual. The power of cartoons, video cartoons that were the ones used with ENDA, is that you have the same character that remains over time. With real actors, the problem is that they can move and they can even go to work for your competition. And with cartoons, you can create any different situation that would cost a lot of money with real persons.
Alliance အနေနဲ့အသင်းဝင်တွေရဲ့အကျိုးစီးပွားကိုရှုရှုပြီးတော့ပြုလုပ်ရမယ့်အကြောင်းအကျိုးရှိပါတယ်။ Alliance အပြင်အခြားနေရာနေပြီးတော့ချင်းငွေယူထားခြင်းရှိမရှိကိုစီစစ်ရပါတယ်။အဲ့လိုအခြားနေရာနှစ်ခုသုံးခုကနေချင်းငွေယူထားမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အသင်းဝင်တွေအနေနဲ့ပြန်ဆန်းမဲ့အချိန်မှာအခက်အခဲတွေကြုံတွေ့နိုင်ပါတယ်။အဲဒါကြောင့်နေရာနှစ်ခုသုံးခုကနေချင်းငွေယူထားခြင်းကိုကျွန်မတို့အနေနဲ့အားမပေးပါဘူးရှင်။ချင်းငွေလျှောက်ထားစဉ်မှာအသေးစိတ်မြင်မြန်ခြင်းတွေရှိပါမယ်။အသင်းဝင်တွေရဲ့လုပ်ငန်းနဲ့မိသားစုဝင်တွေရဲ့အကြောင်းအရာကိုမြင်မြန်ခြင်းအကြောင်းကတော့လုပ်ငန်းအခြေအနေမှန်ကိုသိရှိမှသာလျှင်အသေးဝင်တွေအတွက်လိုအပ်တဲ့ချင်းငွေပမာဏကိုသတ်မှတ်ပေးနိုင်မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်။တက်တော်တဲ့ချင်းငွေပမာဏချက်အများပြီးတော့ဒါမှမဟုတ်နည်းပြီးတော့ချင်းငွေယူခဲ့မယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အသေးဝင်တွေအတွက်ငွေကြေးပြဿနာတွေရင်ဆိုင်ရနိုင်ပါတယ်။အဲဒါကြောင့်အလားရကအသေးဝင်တွေကိုငွေကြေးနှုန်းနဲ့မနှမွန်းရစေအောင်အမြဲတမ်း view design ဆောင်ရွက်ပေးနေပါတယ်။ကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်ရှင်။
Alliance သည်အသင်းဝင်များ၏ဝေဖန်အကြံပြုချက်များကိုတန်ဖိုးထားပါသည် Alliance ၏ဝန်ဆောင်မှုများဝန်ထမ်းများနှင့်ပတ်သက်၍တစုံတရာဝေဖန်အကြံပြုလိုပါကအောက်ပါနည်းလမ်းများဖြင့်အချိန်မီဆက်သွယ်မေးမြန်းနိုင်ပါသည်ဆက်သွယ်မေးမြန်းနိုင်မည့်နည်းလမ်းများချင်းငွေအရာရှိကွင်းစင်ကြီးကြပ်ရေးမှူးငွေစင်းကိုင်ဝန်ထမ်းထံထားရိုက်မေးမြန်းခြင်းရုံးခွဲမန်နေဂျာထံဆွေးနွေးတင်ပြခြင်းရုံးချုပ်ဖုန်း399265591882တို့ခေါ်ဆိုခြင်းအကြံပြုစာတက်တာပုံတို့အကြံပြုစာပေးပို့ခြင်း email လိပ်စာ info@alliance.mm.com တို့လိပ်မှုပေးပို့ခြင်းအစရှိသောနည်းလမ်းများဖြင့်မိမိဝေဖန်အကြံပြုချက်များကိုရုံးဖွင့်ချိန်နနက်8:00 နာရီခွဲမှညနေ9:00 နာရီခွဲအတွင်းပေးပို့တင်ပြနိုင်ပါသည်ဝိုင်းကြီးချုပ်စနစ်ဖြင့်လက်မှတ်ရေးထိုးရခြင်းမှာအဖွဲ့ဝင်တဦးနှင့်တဦးအပြန်အလှန်တာဝန်ယူရမည်ဟုသဘောတူညီခြင်းဖြစ်ပါသည်အဖွဲ့ဝင်တဦးဦးမှချင်းငွေစရန်ပြက်ကွက်ခဲ့ပါကတခြားအဖွဲ့များမှတာဝန်ယူဆက်ပေးရပါမည်၎င်းစာရွက်ပေါ်တွင်ချင်းငွေအမှတ်နာမည်လိပ်စာအဖွဲ့အားလုံးရဲ့မှတ်ပုံတင်နံပါတ်နှင့်ချင်းငွေပမာဏတို့ပါဝင်သည်ဒုတိယစာရွက်သည်ငွေပေးချေကတိစာချုပ်ဖြစ်ပြီး၎င်းစာရွက်တွင်ချင်းငွေနှင့်ပတ်သက်သည့်အချက်လက်အားအသေးစိတ်ဖော်ပြထားပါသည်၎င်းစာရွက်ပေါ်တွင်လက်မှတ်ရေးထိုးရခြင်းမှာလူချင်းမြင့်သည့်သတ်မှတ်သည့်အချိန်အတိုင်းချင်းငွေပေးဆက်ပါမည်ဟုကတိပြုခြင်းဖြစ်သည်တတိယစာရွက်သည်အရေးကြဖြင့်ချင်းငွေပြန်ဆက်ရသည့်အချိန်စရာဖြစ်သည်၎င်းစာရွက်တွင်သတ်မှတ်ထားသောငွေပမာဏသည်သတ်မှတ်သည့်အချိန်တွင်အတိုးနှုန်းအပါအဝင်ပြန်ဆက်မည့်ငွေပမာဏအားအချိန်ရင်းနှင့်တကွလက်ကျန်ငွေပမာဏပါထည့်သွင်းဖော်ပြထားပါသည်ဖော်ပြထားသောအချက်လက်အတိုင်းသဘောတူကြောင်းလက်မှတ်ရေးထိုးရပါမည်ထို့နောက်အချက်လက်ပြည့်စုံပါကချင်းငွေကပ်ကိုလက်ခံရရှိမှာဖြစ်သည်ချင်းငွေဆက်သည့်အချိန်တိုင်းတွင်ချင်းငွေရရှိမှ၎င်းကပ်ပြားပေါ်တွင်လက်ခံကြောင်းအတည်ပြုလက်မှတ်ရေးထိုးပေးမည်ဖြစ်သည်လူချင်းမြင့်၏ကိုယ်ရေးအချက်လက်များကိုလုံခြုံစွာထိန်းသိမ်းပေးမည်ဖြစ်ပါသည်
After we see this, we will see also a short video on e-learning, how it works. It's an e-learning that has been developed for LEAD in Egypt. The most important aspect of the e-learning is that it's standardized, it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it lowers significantly the cost of providing the training once the content has been developed and put online. So the key advantage of e-learning is standardization, cost reduction, and availability 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Welcome to the financial education platform developed for LEAD Foundation in Egypt. This version is in English. We are working now in the translation into the Arabic version. Let's start the course. We have here several subjects talking about how to save more, how to improve debt management, microinsurance, other courses, and in every course we have 3 sub-tabs. One is about the e-learning, the other is about the videos, and the other is about some documentation that we can have related to the subject. So let's take the e-learning. One of the e-learnings, we could take the insurance. Now choosing the e-learning into the insurance. And let's see the difference between insurance and savings.
Insurance versus savings. Emergencies and urgent needs may appear at any time. Save for moments of need. Let us learn. During this module we will learn using a combination of 1. Video 2. Exercises 3. Questions. Insurance is a protection against unexpected risks or events that could damage to ourselves or to our families.
Welcome to It Is Up to You to Improve Your Life.
Hello, Sharif.
Hello, Layla. Have you heard that Lead provides insurance services for its clients?
Insurance? And what is insurance?
It's a mechanism that protects us before unexpected situation, like staying in hospital or death may it never happen. We'll know more details in today's story.
Sure. Let's go and see.
Saeed, Lead's loan officer is here.
Welcome. How you doing? Please have a seat.
Thank you. I came to remind you to renew your loan.
Yes, I was planning to come to Lead next week in order to renew my loan.
I wanted also to share some good news about a new service that is added to the products. Every loan comes now with an insurance service called حماية Lead.
Insurance? What do you mean by that?
It's a service that protects you and your family and gives you a loan that helps you if anything happens, like if you had a health emergency and had to stay at the hospital, and also in the event of death. The rest of the loan is paid and your family gets a compensation, and all of that for a very small fee.
But I am thankfully very healthy and I do not want to buy any insurance.
It's great that you are already healthy. However, no one knows what will happen in the future. So it's best to stay prepared now and stay stress-free. حماية Lead will protect you and your family from the financial burden of unforeseen future expenses.
Saeed, he's right. You know my sister took a fixed amount for the 2 nights she spent at the hospital when she gave birth.
Yes, I remember. But what if I did not use the insurance? What will happen? Do I get my money back or what?
If you don't enter the hospital, that will be the best thing. You won't be able to get your money back because the concept of insurance is different than saving. It's like a pool of money collected from all the clients. If you didn't benefit from it, maybe your neighbor or your friend will.
I am not really sure that I need it.
Saeed, think of it from a different perspective. You need to understand the importance of protecting yourself and your family against future uncertainties. Understand that you can't afford this insurance on your own because it's very expensive.
Saeed, he's right. We need to protect ourselves. This is a good product. Who knows what will happen tomorrow?
It's okay, Amal. You are right. I will go to Lead tomorrow in order to renew my loan and take the insurance.
What do you think about today's experience? I consider that it is very important to secure a family from unexpected events. If a child, spouse, life partner or parent are dependent on us and on our income, we need to have an insurance.
Right. We don't get insurance because we're going to die or have an accident, but because we love our family and we want to protect them, and we must do so. The good thing is that we only need to add a small payment to our loan payments to provide safety for us and our families.
Insurance is a financial service that protects us against the risks.
If those risks do not happen, you don't get your payment back because your payment was instead used to help other people who needed it. And I know I will benefit if I ever need it.
Those are excellent benefits. This is all for today. To learn more about حماية Lead, please ask your loan officer to enroll in one of Lead's training sessions on financial education. Take care and goodbye.
What are your key learnings or reflections from the story? You can type your learnings in the brown box.
Well, my key reflection is that I may need an insurance to protect my family. Then after I finish the evaluation, I click next.
I realized that an insurance can protect me and my family against undesired situations or risks. Do you have an insurance that protects your family? Please select one of the following options. Yes. Maybe in the future. No.
I need to select an option, so I would say maybe in the future.
Thanks for your answer. I encourage you to apply the learning of history to improve your life. Save 5% of your income for emergencies, and 10% for your financial needs. No one is safe from emergencies, It is better to be safe than sorry. How much time would it take to save $200 for emergencies, if I can save $2 per day? Savings goal, for emergencies. Let us see an example. Column 1. How much money do I need for emergencies? In this case, I need $200. Column 2. How much can I save per period? Day, week, fortnight, or month? In this case I can save $2 daily. Column 3. How much time will IT take me to get to the goal? To know the time, I have to divide column 1, that is $200, by column 2, that is $2 daily. This results in 100 days. That is the time I will need to save $200, by saving $2 every day. Savings, for emergencies. Prepare your own saving goal for emergencies, by filling in the brown boxes below.
I will need 1,000 for my emergencies, and I can save, let's say, 10 per day. So I will need about 100, that is 1,000 divided by 10, to get my saving goal. After I finish, I click next.
7 goal form. If you want to download the format, please make click in the blue text with the word download. As an emergency can appear at any time, should I rely only on my savings to protect my family? Option 1. I should have an insurance to be protected at all times. Savings are for emergencies non-covered by the insurance. Option 2. Yes, saving for emergencies is enough. It is better to rely on my own saving, rather than on an insurance company.
I make here an analysis. My savings cannot be so big, so my savings would be good for small emergencies, but not for big ones. So to stay protected and protect my family at all times, I will choose option 1. Let's see.
Congratulations for your good selection.
What would have happened if I would have chosen option 2?
As emergencies can happen at any time, and savings can take longer, it is better to have an insurance to protect your family soon. Option 1 is better.
So I see here the correct answer.
Thank you for learning with us. Please, answer the online question by clicking on the blue box below.
So I'll take the online survey. So I try to answer why it's important to save for emergency. How much is the minimum that I should save for emergency? Let's say, how useful was this course? Shorter video cartoon to improve and make it better. So after I finish, I send it. All the answers will be stored online. And I received immediate feedback on what was the correct answer. In this case, it was 5%. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. And then we will talk about the e-learning experience regarding putting a link with the social media. This is the experience of IMI in Laos. We will see an example how we can make an interaction. What is the objective of the interaction? We have different interactions that we can program. This is a chatbot that works together with Messenger. So we can program what message we want the client to receive at what time, after initial message, after 30 seconds, after 1 minute, after 1 day, different message that we deliver to the client in different moments. Then we have the artificial, what they call artificial intelligence, AI. This is different interaction that, depending on what client said, showed here in green color, will be sent by the machine to the client. And let's see an example here. I have my messenger in Facebook, so I just received the welcome for the financial education training. I received the first money management secret to stay away from unnecessary expenses every day. And before spending, ask yourself, is it necessary? Is it urgent? Can I postpone it? So I can type a word, let's say savings, credit, or insurance, and I will get some type of information. I'm going to say savings, just to see what happens. And immediately I receive a key message regarding savings. Save a little every day. Even a coin saved can make a difference in time. And save first before start spending. Put away 10% of the money you receive and do not touch it. Okay, fine. But I want to know about credit. So I type credit here. Or I could type loan. And I receive the key message on loans. Likewise with insurance. or with budget. So it's a, sorry, this is a mistake, but yet. So depending on what I type, what the client types, the client will receive information, and if I want to know additional information, I can receive information from where to go. I choose this link. I can receive videos. I have here the connection. So this is the lead financial education platform. I do. Let's start the course. I have here the e-learnings, the videos, the document for different microinsurance, other courses, credit, debt management. So once I start this, I can start with the learning. So this is the essence of the how the e-learning works. To conclude my presentation, I will talk about the challenge and lesson learned. First challenge have to do with technology understanding, and not just from the client side, also from the MFI management side. Second challenge, how to can we make more promotion? Once we develop the e-learning, the video cartoons, the videos, how can we scale up these videos, this digital media to hundreds of thousands of persons? And number three, in reality, in underdeveloped or developing countries, let's call it, we have to overcome some logistical limitations to make sure that televisions, projectors are there, the speakers work well, access to mobiles and to the internet to the client, because sometimes the client don't have smart device or don't have internet access. So what we have learned regarding this? Regarding the technology understanding, we have learned that it's very important to have an early involvement of the CEO and the management team and show how technology works and what benefits they will have on this technology. Regarding on the promotion and scaling up, it's important not just to build the business case, the cost-benefit analysis to see how much I'm going to invest in financial education and what is the return expected in more savings, less portfolio at risk, more clients, but also to develop a very smart communication strategy to outreach clients and also to convince loan officers to provide financial education. And regarding the logistical limitation, of course, we need to make sure that enough budget will be allocated. Give a close follow-up. In one country, we had experience that it was everything ready, the money was there, they bought the television, but it took them 2 or 3 months to get the televisions into the branches, so it was just a accountability problem. We also need to make sure that if the client don't have the mobile, if the client don't have the internet access, why don't we see a business opportunity there and find a way to finance them a mobile and even the internet access and give them a parallel loan so they will pay $1 or $2 additional per month and they will have access to the technology. But if there are also some fears from the financial institutions that they don't want to deliver the content they develop online because they fear that the competition will copy-paste. Well, in that case, they can deliver it offline in the branches or just copy to the smart mobiles of the client the content of the financial education. But in my experience, the best way to avoid being copied is to be innovating the whole time. So this is my final slide. An effective financial education learning using digital media assures standard quality on the training and the content on the process, can reduce the cost of delivery financial education, and if properly done with good communication strategy, can really outreach a big scale of clients. So this is for my presentation. We finally solved the technology issue. Congratulations, Lars.
Thank you.
If there is any question, I'm happy to answer.
It's good. I just want to comment on the video of Alliance. You have seen that there was a bit mismatch, unfortunately, between the text and the image. So they embedded client information with financial literacy and also with information on client rights, on client protection. So they use that as an digital embedded part of their operations of their group lending operations by video, and that will assure them in two ways. And on the one hand, the videos are appreciated and maybe more, let's say, more appreciated and attractive for the clients, and they also do explain it very correctly, whereas any field staff can have maybe a not so good day and then don't explain it correctly. And secondly, it will cut down on operational cost once there is the tablet there in the field. So then that can be shown on tablets or in branches on TV screens. And during that time, the field staff doing this group lending formation and also then the disbursement can do basically other tasks while the explanation is done on this video. So that is the embedded combination of financial literacy, client protection, and product explanation. So that should, once the investment costs were done, that is to what the scbf has contributed to develop the methodology, the training materials, and also the training of the staff to also explain those videos if there are additional questions. Actually, then the marginal cost may be then almost zero, because it will save staff time. And then there are some additional financial literacy messages embedded in those client production, in this client operation of formation of group loans and the disbursement time. And in the case of Ender, there are a huge, it's the microfinance institution. They have 250, 300,000, and they have an NGO, and they have a very strong commitment to financial education already for years, and they wanted just to have also more efficient and more attractive ways to deliver this financial education, as the client do not have the time like traditionally sitting in workshops and so on. And that is where they also ask for assistance, but this is done basically by the NGO. And in the case of LEAD, they have a very strong also social commitment. They want that the clients will effectively use better the financial services, and that means also a behavior change in money management. And that also at the same time, that is also good for their business. So, I mean, this is a bit a plaidoyer for financial education embedded on operation through digital technologies, which would make sense also from the business case. But now, are there any specific questions to Juan? I will pass on the phone that he can then hear that. Are there any questions to Juan?
Hola, Juan. Muchas
Hola.
gracias.
Hola.
So, thank you a lot. You talked a lot about input, I find, and yeah, you said input, output, and outcome, and there was very little on outcome. I saw some people save 77% more. But can you give us more examples?
Yes.
Something striking. If one MFI abolishes classroom-based training altogether and says, look, digital was so efficient, we are now doing this fully digital. Do you have more examples?
Yes, sure.
Of the outcomes?
Thank you for your question. Unfortunately, the time is always a limitation, so we need to be very concrete on this. So, one side is the behavioral change that create better money management and reduction in unnecessary expenses. The other side is the increase in savings that we already conversed. But before that increase in savings, there is also some outcomes regarding how the clients, especially women, share what they have learned regarding money management with the family members, especially the husband and the children. Other aspect is that they have a different control on their expenses. They separate business expenses and household expenses, so they can have a better control on how they manage their business and their family expenses. And sometimes they even realize that they were losing money in certain items instead of making money, so they make a better business decision. The other aspect is that nobody can control how much debt you can take. Only you can do it. So they are more aware of how much debt they really can take, and they are more, even if they are facing debt problems, they are more aware of how can they get out of that debt problem. So they receive a way out. So if when you find people with more savings, with more control on their expenses, with more control on their debt, it's also a big probability to find that they will have less problems with debt payment. We have not yet got into the exact correlation between how much the credit losses have reduced in the MFIs compared with the savings increase, but we will do in the near future. But this is the sequence. So there are some behavioral changes, some changes in indicators, and some changes in the way the MFIs can receive additional, not just, let's say, savings and let portfolio at risk, but also an additional benefit, non-expected benefit, is that when they deliver the financial education with the client, more people realize that they are providing financial education. Sometimes they come just to learn about financial education, and then they become clients of the financial education. So additional client is another benefit.
Okay, thank you very much, Juan. Now we will stop you because we already behind plenary decision. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hans, and for your support to this financial education initiative.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.